Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at Eclipse. Eclipse is a massive strategy game set in space using the 4X model. It is a big game with a lot of hype behind it. So let's see if the game lives up to this hype and is something that you'll want to pick up on iOS. In Eclipse, players take on the role of alien races. The goal of each race, or the human races, is to exert the most control in the galaxy, and after 8 rounds, have the most victory points. So unlike other 4X games, you're not playing until the bitter end, but there's a set time limit on what you can do and how much time you have to do it. In the game, you're going to be conquering, attacking, exploring, and doing other actions to build up your empire. This game is actually based on a board game of the same name, but if you're a fan of 4X and strategy games on PC or other platforms, this will fit right in for you. It does have some board game rules, but on iOS it plays much like just any other 4X game that you've tried, just with a lot more focus and a lot more control in what you can do at any given time. Here you can see the massive scale of the Eclipse board game. It is a giant box, but a game that's very popular in the last year, and it's great to see it on iOS. As you can see, the game features tons of components. This is the kind of game that you can sit through an entire afternoon with your friends, playing and debating and yelling at each other. It really is fun if you can experience it in this way, though due to its massive scale, it's not something you would be able to do very often. As you can see, there's just tons and tons of pieces, though it does look magnificent on a table for sure. A great part about the iOS version is that not only does it feature common gameplay for fans of 4X strategy games, but it also allows you, if you are a fan of this board game, to play it more often online with friends or against AI in a quicker and more controlled fashion. As you can see, they have taken the complex board game and broken it down to something that feels very natural on iOS. Here we can see the player exploring. They can choose where they would like to look for a new possible sector to control. Here they've discovered one green planet and can line it up so that it connects to their existing sector of space. For fans of the board game, you will really get the feeling of playing the board game, and it will have the same sort of effects and controls that you're used to. If you're not a fan of the board game, you will just see a very straightforward strategy game. As you can see here, there's a screen to build ships, which allows you to construct different ships, which you can use to combat other players and to expand your empire in later turns. In Eclipse, you'll want to expand your empire to earn more points by conquering different territories, as well as colonizing new planets, which will give you new resources. Your goal of the game is to score the most victory points, and one of the key ways of doing this is expanding your empire. As you see, the game can get quite large, the board especially as players expand. However, you can pinch and zoom to allow yourself to see what's going on, and at a zoomed out view you can actually get a lot more information about the board at a quick glance. As you continue to build your empire and begin to exploit those that you've conquered, you'll gain resources. Your resources include money, which allow you to take more actions and control more sectors, science, which allows you to do research as we're seeing here, and materials, which allows you to build spaceships that can be used in exploration and combat. So as you research different techs, these can be used to improve your ships, improve your empire, or do other actions that you are interested in doing. There are quite a number of techs, however they fall into some basic categories, and after playing 1 or 2 times you will understand what they all do, and you'll quickly know what you want to do based on your strategy for that game. In the game you'll also be doing exterminating, that is combat. Every player will most likely experience combat during the game, most likely with the Ancients, which are some computer-controlled ships that appear on the board as leftovers of the ancient empire. However, you also can do combat between players, and this will be a strategic decision in each game deciding when you do combat and for what reason, as this can be costly and really takes some planning on the player's part to make it worth the while, as it requires a lot of resources and time. Combat, however, does provide you with victory points, whether you're victorious or not, and these victory points come in the form of tokens. These tokens are hidden from the other players, allowing you to have a range of a score, making you not sure exactly where the other players stand. Oh, and there I am getting slaughtered by the AI. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game is the winner. The nice part about this 4X game is that it's limited to 8 rounds, therefore you have a sure start and stop point for the game. For local play, you can play with up to 6 AI or human players. The pass and play version works well, though of course the game is quite lengthy, but it could do well on road trips or other times when you have a lot of downtime to take care of. You can play with either the Terran races or the alien races. The Terran races are pretty straightforward, recommended for new players, whereas the alien races have a higher level of complexity and special abilities which add more life to the game. Eclipse features asynchronous online play. Much like Neuroshima Hex, Big Daddy's Creations has used their own system rather than Game Center. This does require an email to log in, though it does not take long to do so. In the game, you can play private or public games. You can also have multiple games running at the same time. Online, you can also play with up to 6 players, which I think is insane, but definitely possible if you can get a game like that going. Apart from online play, there's a tutorial and a guide to all the species, as well as a written rulebook if you want to read that. This is really great and helps teach players the game, as it is somewhat complex, though more straightforward than you would think. The game also features settings. You can adjust some of the graphics and the animation speed if your device is slower, which can allow the game to run more slowly on maybe an iPad 1 or other devices. Eclipse is a massive game. It was one that I was surprised that they wanted to bring onto iOS. There's so much going on and a lot of depth to the game. However, they have managed to do a great job on the UI design here, and you can really understand everything that's going on very easily. Each turn feels substantial, and so playing this async will be something that I think will be quite enjoyable, at least with a limited number of players. I think the graphic design is excellent. I like how it feels like the board game if you are a board game fan. However, if you're not, it just really looks like a polished 4X game with lots of interesting animations, different ships for each race, and things of that nature. It really went beyond just the board game and does not feel tied or married to the way that was designed. I'm not an expert player at this game, but the AI seems strong enough for me, and I was just playing at the lower levels. I'm sure that if you try the higher levels, you definitely will find a challenge. Apart from AI, the pass and play options are pretty great if you have an opportunity to play this, say, in a car or a situation like that. The online play works pretty well. I do wish there had been some Game Center integration, but I can understand that if Android is planned, this will allow for easier cross-platform play. I also think that the system can be somewhat unstable, though it is hard to tell at this early stage. We'll see once the capacity increases on the server, once the game is live. Eclipse is not perfect in every way, and there may be things that annoy some players. However, in my opinion, I feel like Eclipse really embodies what iOS gaming can be on a complexity level. We have seen Codito and even Big Daddy's Creations try to tackle some large games like Kalis. However, none has been done as well as Eclipse. They've really created a UI design that works while staying true to the board game, but also making things make sense in a video game. We've also got a lot of information to take in, but they have added thematic panels that slide in and out very easily and allow you to understand what's going on. I really feel like this is the standard by which all complex games on iOS should be measured. Even if you're not a board game fan and don't understand all that hubbub I was just talking about, the important part here is that Eclipse is a great 4X strategy game, and it is a very controlled experience. Because it's only 8 rounds long, you have to really focus on what you're doing, and you know that the game will be over in a certain period of time, rather than having the possibility to stretch out endlessly as you conquer the entire galaxy. Sure, you don't get that experience here, but I think the controlled 4X experience is something that many players will enjoy, and it's an easier way to enter the genre. This game is easily a 5 out of 5 for me. If you enjoy strategy games, this one is great, and it's not too complex, and the game will easily teach you what to do. So I recommend picking up Eclipse today for sure.